In this video, I'm going to share with you a conversation that I had with an agency recently that I think is a really good case study on how to get past some growth hurdles. So just to give a little bit of background, this agency has been in business for about 5 years now, and they've had some real nice success. They're doing about $1.2 million in sales. They have nice margins. The problem is that they've been stuck at that $1.2 million mark, and they haven't been able to get past it now for the last couple of years. And it's frustrating to the owner, it's frustrating to the team, and he's trying to figure out what it is that's preventing him from getting past that mark. He is primarily a lead generation agency working with a particular niche, and he is a HighLevel agency using the HighLevel software platform with his customers. So this was a really, I think, again, illustrative conversation, a good case study conversation that people can learn from. And so I wanted to share with you how I was advising him on getting past this growth hurdle. So the first thing to note, I'm going to do a little bit of doodling here on my iPad here, and I'm going to show you, in my experience, what very often happens in just about every service business that I've come across. It's happened to mine in the past, and it always happens really with any service business that is generating their sales almost entirely by, word of mouth referrals or by the owner being the primary driver of sales at the business, is that they usually hit this point in their business where they have to do a major step up in order to get growth past a certain point. And so I draw this staircase here because this is what it will feel like to get business to go beyond certain hurdles. And the reason why is that, let's say that this agency, and these are rough numbers, but these are pretty accurate. Let's say that this agency has gotten to about 100 customers by doing what they're doing. And when I say by doing what they're doing, that means that they have, again, been doing pretty much organic growth. It's referrals, word of mouth, and the owner being involved in that sales process, or really being the only person in that sales process. No dedicated sales team and no real dedicated marketing effort to speak of. He's grown it to, again, about 100 customers, a little over $1,000 on average per customer per month. But what happens, and this is one of the first questions that I had when I was trying to diagnose what was going on here, is I asked him, what is your churn rate? And he told me 5%. Okay. And 5% churn, at first I thought, wow, that's incredible. 5% churn rate in anything where you're dealing with small businesses is phenomenal. The reason why is, if you take 100 small businesses, more than 5 of them are probably going to go out of business in the next year or have just like some real financial downturn that is going to cause them to cancel your services. And so if you are only at 5% churn, that means not only are you doing a fantastic job with your services, but you're also doing a fantastic job at selecting customers that are healthy and going to stick around, which can be a hard thing to do. The reality is that number was actually about 5% per month. Okay, 5% per month. So that's a big difference, obviously. 5% per month means that each year you're turning over half of your customer base. So if we look at this still though on a monthly basis, 5% churn means that he's losing about 5 customers per month. 5 customers per month is what I have found to be a typical organic growth, referral, word of mouth growth rate, where you've got just the owner as the salesperson, 5, 6 new customers each month is what I've found is kind of a range that businesses tend to settle into, again, in these professional services, agency services types of businesses. That's somewhere between 4 to 6 new customers a month. It seems to be a number that these businesses settle into in terms of new customers that they get each month. So, and that's exactly where this guy was at. He was at 4 to 6 new customers a month. And so you can see if you've got a 5% churn rate, that at 100 customers is 5 customers a month that you're losing, which is about the exact same number of customers that he's getting each month. And there we have our problem. There we have the exact reason why, you can see just there in the numbers, why this business has stalled with growth. And so now we've got some diagnosis here, right? We've got some information to work with, which is super helpful. And so now it's how do we solve this problem? And to put it in just really simple terms, there's 2 ways to solve this. One is to increase the number of new customers that he's getting each month. And the second is to increase the retention of his customers. You could do one, you could do both. If you do both, your growth is really going to take off, but either one or the other could result in him getting past these growth hurdles. But they're not the same. And that's why this staircase is so important to understand. Okay, so this staircase, again, represents, if you will, this investment hurdle that you have to make if your growth solution is to grow by doing a better job at sales and marketing to acquire more customers. Or in this case, I should just say more sales and marketing to acquire new customers. Because again, he's gotten to this point by being the salesperson for the agency. And so this staircase point right here represents new investment. If you're going to solve this problem by getting your sales and marketing engine going beyond just the owner, that is this all of a sudden steep step up in investment that he's going to have to make in that. Right now, when I asked him, I said, well, how much are you investing in marketing right now? And he said, essentially nothing, right? And this always kind of cracks me up a little bit because here we are marketing agencies. And when I ask how much are you investing in marketing, and the answer is nothing. And he doesn't have any other dedicated salespeople, so it's him doing all the work. So let's just say that he wanted to add new marketing and sales capability into the business to give him that extra capacity to say, let's bring on another 5 new customers a month. So if we just said that the ability to generate 5 new customers a month, that's what he's doing as the owner. So let's just say that that's the equivalent of one person selling full-time in this business. Even though he's not selling full-time, he is the owner, so he's going to have some advantages in his abilities probably to convert some of these customers and prospects into customers. So if we just hired a salesperson off the streets and we just said, okay, let's get that salesperson producing another 5 to 6 new customers a month at about $1,000 a month, the math, works out, especially if we keep those customers for year 2, year 3, that we can invest in a salesperson to do that. And let's just say that the total cost of this new salesperson is around $10K per month. And let's just pretend that for now, we're not going to do any marketing at all to support that salesperson. We're just going to say, hey, look, here's a phone. Here's your email. Get busy. $10K a month, all in with salary and benefits. And that number will be low over time. That number would go beyond 10K, certainly with salary and benefits for a successful salesperson. At the beginning, let's just say that number is a safe number. Maybe we're paying them a base of 50 or 60 and they're getting commission, they're getting some benefits, but they're not earning commission yet. And so that 10K is, roughly a safe number. So again, we're just spitballing a little bit here, but you can see that now as a business owner, I've got to decide to make this investment. Again, this is with no marketing support. And ideally, of course, we'd love to see, all marketing agencies spending some money on marketing. So, maybe we would add another $2,000, $5,000 a month in there. This step up that he has to do could all of a sudden be a pretty considerable number. And when you think about that, all of a sudden out of pocket, making the decision to, I'm going to invest another $10,000 to $15,000 a month in growth, that's a number that all of us, as self-funded business owners, which almost I am, and you watching this video, I'm sure you are, that's a significant investment to decide to make, right? That additional 10 to 15K in sales and marketing capacity. So that step up can be a very stressful step up. And that step up can also come with additional investments that we haven't even covered here. So let's just say if you're going to add another 5 to 6 new customers a month, you might need to get somebody new on your service team. You might even need to get a couple new people, maybe a new account manager, maybe a new person that's involved in the day-to-day service delivery. So with growth comes additional investment typically. So this may or may not be the right way for him to go. And I say may or may not be because if you are looking to expand your business beyond just being an owner-led lifestyle business, then yeah, you're going to have to make investments like this. I mean, at some point or another, you've got to really start treating this like a real business, and real businesses require investment to grow. It's not just a personal piggy bank, right? There gets to be this point where you got to start treating it truly like this separate entity that needs to be fed. And sometimes that means that to feed it, it's going to have to come out of your pocket. And that can be a painful thing for self-funded business owners. So that is one approach to it. And the real determining factor as to whether or not that's right for him is his mindset. You know, what is he looking for from this business? Is he looking for something that he's going to grow to 5 million and 10 million? And then that's a significantly larger business that he could then exit and get a real nice chunk of change if he exits on those numbers? Or is this something that, hey, I just want to run this and have a really nice lifestyle, not have a lot of headaches. You know, I'm making some decent money now. I don't want to screw this up. Those are two very different positions and two very different mindsets. One of the things that I've always advised people that I know that are looking to start a company is to get really clear about, are you a lifestyle business owner, or are you more like a venture investment business owner where you're trying to create this truly separate high growth asset? Or are you trying to just build something to give you a nice life? And there's nothing wrong with either one of those. I, at one point, used to be just completely sucked into this concept of Silicon Valley because I lived in Silicon Valley, that everything had to raise a ton of venture capital money and had to have a chance of going public in the next 5 years or it was a failure. And I hated that world. I hated that mindset. And since have become completely focused on building lifestyle businesses for me. And I absolutely love that. I love the life that it gives me. I love that I don't have all the headaches of tons of employees anymore, things like that. So there's no right or wrong. There is what's right for you, and you've got to get clear on that. So what I want to share with you then is, what is the alternative if he says, what I'm really looking for is more of that lifestyle business? Does that mean that he can't grow, that he's stuck? Absolutely not. And this is where I want to share with you where HighLevel comes in and some of the things that I learned from my first business that now are why I'm so excited about HighLevel for agencies. The other alternative here is that you change your product mix, your offer, so that you have more automation and more sticky long-term recurring revenue, so that even when those lead generation customers cancel with you, many of them are going to stick with that lower cost system, that system being HighLevel, what you build on top of HighLevel, if you've structured your packages right, and if you have been able to successfully get your customer using that system, using HighLevel as part of their day-to-day business. Here's the reality is once a business is using HighLevel and they've got their funnels in there, they've got their customer data in there, they're sending invoices out, they're taking calls from there, they're doing emails, they've got messages coming in from all their different social platforms, and that's how they're responding to their prospects and customers every day. The pain of disconnect from that is really high. If you've never switched CRMs, once your business is doing $1 million a year or a couple $1 million a year, and you've got a bunch of employees in there or years of data in there, if you've never gone through that process, it's painful. It's not fun. I've done it multiple times, and it is a headache. It is a multi-month planning process. It can be a total distraction. And so to get somebody to switch from one to the other, there's got to be a very, very compelling reason to do so. And with how much HighLevel is developing into the platform, it's really hard to find compelling reasons to switch. because you can do so much in there, and every day you can do more in there. So the value that you can bring to your customers with HighLevel is tremendous. And so the switching costs are tremendous. And that means that most of your customers are going to stick for years to come. This is the beauty of this model. So right now, if we go back to the services that he's offering, he's really offering, if you were to look at this like product stack, this would be lead generation, and this would be HighLevel. And I just draw it like that to, kind of suggest that HighLevel is being minimized in his offer and the way that he's pitching this. He's really pitching lead generation. Lead generation is a notoriously high churn business model. You can generate some nice revenue. You can generate some nice revenue for you, for your customer. It can be exciting because you can generate revenue quickly, but it tends to be a 90-day stick rate, a really, really high churn rate, where we're looking for customers for years. If you're not keeping your customers for years in this business, your business is never really going to be healthy, never really going to be profitable and easy to run. And so what I advised him to do is that he needs to start, and I always do this as a pyramid. Any of my customers can tell you I love pyramids, but more of this pyramid approach where he teaches that every business to be successful needs systems, okay? And perhaps you have seen or read the book E-Myth, one of the most famous books for small business owners and entrepreneurs ever written, millions of copies sold. First read this, I want to say about 20 years ago now, and it had such an impact on how I developed and run my businesses. And it is more relevant today than ever. But the idea that businesses that are really profitable and really give business owners the lifestyle that they want are built on a foundation of systems. This is why McDonald's, even though it doesn't have the best food in the world, dominates all these mom and pop restaurants that could have incredible food and incredible service, but they don't have the business systems that allow them to grow. And so now he's changing the conversation a little bit. I understand, Mr. Customer, that what you want is growth. You want new leads. You want new prospects. We can do that for you. But if your business doesn't have the successful systems in place to capitalize on that ad spend and on that lead generation that we're doing for you, it's always going to be wasteful. And our experience is that if it's wasteful, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to cancel our services a few months from now. And maybe you've experienced that, right? And so we're now having this different conversation with them where we're advising them, we're leading them, we're showing them this is how you build a healthy business. And we're emphasizing systems first, okay? And in those systems, then we are building the things like, campaigns and landing pages, excuse my chicken scratch, but we're building all the things on top of those systems, the assets, if you will, that allow those systems to be productive for their business. So the assets for a pizza shop are going to be different than the assets for a plumbing business. We're building those on top of these systems. And then up here at the top of the pyramid, this is where our service does lead generation for you. And it's kind of the cherry on top. It's kind of the cherry on top because now we've given you this successful foundation to work with first, so that the lead generation is actually going to be more effective. We're going to have optimized landing pages. We're going to have follow-up sequences. We're going to make sure that we're capturing all the messages that are coming in from interested prospects in all of these different places on all your social channels. And we're going to put them into one inbox so that you can actually make sure that you're responding to all of these open conversations. All these things that right now are not happening effectively at your business are now going to be happening effectively, so that when we start sending a whole bunch of leads into your business, you now are going to have the proper follow-up to make this successful. The key is that you are representing this system as somewhere around $297 to $497 a month. And then the lead generation up here is X dollars per month, depending on who it is that you're selling to, what their budgets are, all that good stuff. But they're separate things. They come together in your service delivery, but they're separate things. So that now you're getting businesses associated with, oh, I've got to use these systems. I've got to be in here entering my customer information, following up with prospects. You're getting them actively engaged in HighLevel and in these systems that you've created, versus before in this previous model over here, what was happening is that he's generating leads for them, but HighLevel has been minimized, the way he's presenting it, the way he's pitching it, and the customers are not really getting in there. They're not really engaging with the platform because, hey, I just bought leads, man. I just want leads, right? They're not bought into the actual full picture of what they need to do to be successful in generating and converting those leads. Now with this refined pitch, this has changed his presentation and his positioning to his customers. It's changed the value proposition. He's now leading them really on how to grow their business, not just throwing leads at them. And he is putting in place this system that now the customers are going to be actively involved in and using every day, so that if at any point in the future they decide to stop spending on ads, change their budget on how much they're spending on ads, whatever, temporarily, permanently, he is still going to keep a very high percentage of those customers on that $297 to $497 a month. This is what completely changed my first business in IT management services. At first, our IT management services were all time and talent. And then technology started developing where we could offer firewall monitoring as a subscription, antivirus as a subscription, backup as a subscription. And all of those things were completely automated. They were like the HighLevel to our IT business at that time. So now all of a sudden we started getting $297 a month for firewall protection and $7 a month per employee for antivirus updates, and between $497 and all the way up to like $2,500 a month for automatic data protection. And again, all of this was happening automatically. So one, we had these really nice high margin services as a foundation now because they were based on technology, just like I'm suggesting he does with HighLevel. And two, when our customers would cancel our time and talent services, our help desk and our virtual CTO services that we would offer, they didn't want to cancel that backup. They didn't want to cancel that firewall monitoring service and the antivirus updates because they knew that they still needed those things. And so they would hang on to those. And honestly, at that point, it didn't really matter to us that they would cancel those other services as long as we kept the automated services, because the automated services is really where we were making all of our money. And those time and talent people-based services that we were charging more for were actually much higher cost, much harder to manage. We had to hire, recruit, train, all that type of stuff, just much more difficult. And our mind shifted to, hey, wait a minute, this business is really about what do we need to do to sell the systems. Once we have those in place, our business is successful. Now, if we go back to those numbers that we talked about in his current business, where let's say that he's got 100 customers and he's losing 5 each month, and he's getting 5 new ones each month. But now let's say that churn, those 5 customers that churn, let's say that 4 out of those 5 continue paying between $297 to $497 a month. That's actually where the majority of his profit in his service is anyway. And that's going to just keep on getting paid for month after month after month. So now 4 out of 5 stick between $297 and $497. He's keeping a really nice recurring revenue number that over the course of 5-6 months and then a year and then a couple of years, that continues to stack up and it becomes a really nice, sizable recurring revenue number at his business. And now every new customer that he gets, those 5 new ones, even if he just stays there, his business starts to grow again. It's not growing because he's getting new customers. It's not growing because he's losing less customers. It's growing because the amount that he's losing when he loses his customers is actually less, and it's very, very profitable revenue that he's keeping. So the business grows. It doesn't grow real fast. It's not like all of a sudden, he just turned on a crazy sales and marketing engine, but it grows consistently and it grows really, really profitably to produce a really attractive lifestyle business. And by the way, the second benefit, which I've experienced personally, is that it's a very sellable business, even though it's not that big, because that recurring revenue that is automated and stacking up, now all of a sudden a future buyer can come along and go, wow, that's really valuable. This isn't just some time and talent lead generation agency where I'm counting on somebody to really know how to create these amazing campaigns. These guys have $50,000 a month in automated tech-based recurring revenue that's just chugging away, producing profits. That's a sexy business to be able to sell. Okay, I hope that this case study was helpful for you. It was a really fun conversation to have with this gentleman. The light bulb went on by the end of the conversation. He was very excited about his business again, and I think it's just a really good illustration that, one, if you are just founder-led sales, you're going to hit that point where churn and your ability to acquire new customers are going to even out, and then you're stuck, okay? There are solutions though, and there are a couple different solutions, right? You can invest in that sales and marketing and grow, or you can change your product mix to continue capturing that tech-based recurring revenue even when your customers cancel, and that creates a really, really nice profitable growth engine for you. It's not as fast necessarily, but it's a really, really nice one and a really great lifestyle business. Both are good options. It's up to you to decide what you want from your business. And if I can do anything to help you, please make sure and check out the resources that I have for you down below in the comments of this video. We've got an incredible bonus package for anybody that signs up for HighLevel through us or upgrades through us. And I answer all of the questions in the comments down below here. So if you've got any questions, please leave them on this video and I'll be sure and get to them personally, okay? Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for your time and attention. We'll see you in a future video. Take care.